Hi.
Hi.
Welcome to this edition.
Film therapy.
To film therapy.
Hi.
Yes,
Still
film
working
therapy.
out the kinks.
Kyle.
And what our two viewers may have noticed from our first episode is that we're missing a vital crew member.
Nate.
That's
Nate
right.
Schweitzer.
Nate Schweitzer. Nate has gone on to a better place. That place is Mexico, where he went on a vacation with his family. We hoped he'd be back for this episode, but he has gone missing, presumed dead. It's been about a week. We need to move on. So from our hearts to yours, we'd like to say goodbye, Nate.
Yeah.
And to continue on to this episode, I'd like to say black and blue. God versus man. Day versus night.
Fight night!
Fight!
Fight night!
Fight night! Today at Film Therapy, we are going to be discussing the very, some would call divisive, maybe not so, frowned upon Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice, the Ultimate Edition. Kyle, how did this Ultimate cut make you feel, ultimately?
Pretty bad. Didn't feel very good afterwards. So, you know, like most of us youngins, I was looking forward to this film very much, and pretty let down. Pretty let down by Zack Snyder. It would have been hard to live up to the hype. I will give it that, but you know, movie just didn't work on a lot of levels, and yeah, I don't know. And the extended cut didn't fix anything for me. Like, all the big issues are still there. It filled in one or two like plot gaps a little bit, but even without it, like, the same point is still there. Same point still getting across. So, you know, there's little things that are fixed, and then there's things like just a little one-liner at the end where, like, Batman's talking to Lex Luthor in jail, and he's like, "I'm having you transported to Arkham," or whatever, and, like, that's fine. Like, it sounds kind of ridiculous, but it's kind of cool seeing, I guess. But other than that, like, the Ultimate Cut didn't add anything to the film for me. So it's a film I already didn't enjoy that much, but 30 minutes longer. So,
Yeah, so I would say this film is a huge disappointment. I mean, I think it's unfair, the amount of hype it had against it. You know, you couldn't live up to that hype. But the film that we got, it doesn't fault over that hype. It just faults on an actual narrative structure. And the best way I can put it is with this t-shirt I'm wearing. And it seems odd because this t-shirt actually has no superheroes on it. And you'll see Kyle wearing the same shirt. But it's really cool things in pieces. Wolves, sure, that's cool. Lone wolves, full moons. It's got like this weird Indian tribal thing. But together, it's just this collage of nonsense that doesn't really work together. It's just too much, and it's an assault on the senses, which is what this movie is. Batman vs. Superman is an assault on the senses. Like, there's too much going on to actually be able to enjoy. It goes so fast and doesn't really ever go back around. It brings up all these ideas but never connects them. So that's why ultimately I did not enjoy this film or the new cut, because it presents more things and it doesn't ever follow through. I guess I would say this film does not follow through.
I like these shirts.
Why do you... Yeah, I mean, and some people will like them. Some people will like this shirt. But I feel like it's an ugly shirt to me. That's this movie.
I was really, really looking forward to this movie, and I was just so disappointed when I saw it. Been a huge Batman fan for a long time, and just when they were announcing that these two iconic heroes were going to be on screen together, I got so excited. And I was so let down in the theater. Like, I almost cried. Like, talking about it to Taylor, I'm like, I think I hated it. And I'm pretty sure I do. But it was just a jumbled mess. And I think there was a certain point in the movie, like maybe halfway through, where I was just numb to what was going on. I was taken out of the movie multiple times, and it was just a big mess. And the ultimate cut, I have to agree with these guys. It's just 30 extra minutes of the same thing. It doesn't fix the movie. It helps explain some of the plot a little bit more, but I don't really care what's going on in the plot all that much. So just a long, bloated, shiny piece of poop.
I love this movie. Like, it was it was the best. Like, just it's so bad it comes back around. Like, at a certain point, you're just drunk and you're just loving it. You're like, you know what? Fine. We can make fun of this movie. It's great. But no, it's just so bad. Like, I don't even know how else to put it. Like, it was a 2.5 hour just dump on my chest. But now it's a 3 hour steamer just laid out. Like, it's rough. It is not fun to watch at all. And the bits that they added to the movie for the ultimate cut, like, it kind of makes Superman less of a shit. Because, like, I mean, like, it gives him more reason to not like Batman than he had before. Like, before it was just like, I kind of don't like that he does things. And, like, now it's like, oh, he specifically, like, put a guy in prison and, like, endangered his life and shit.
With
so,
the branding.
Like, with the branding and stuff. So, like, it's fine. It kind of gives it more depth. But, like, it didn't really matter. It didn't really have any, like, consequence. Because in the end, like, they still connect over having a mother with the same name. Like, that's still, like, the reason why they stopped fighting. So, like, it's still just kind of garbage. Like, it's just a trash movie. Trash movie.
Trash.
Trash.
Trash. Fight night. Fight night. Fight night. Fight night.
There's a lot of reasons I don't enjoy this film. Okay, but leaving the theater, the one reason I left, and I was sitting in the theater, and at the beginning of the movie, you know, they're talking about Martha Wayne. I'm like, right on. And then, you know, they keep calling Ma Kent Martha. And I'm just like, oh, that is a little weird. Their parents have the same name. Picked up on it at one point, but I didn't think they were going to actually bring it in. And then he's about to kill Superman. Batman has a spear to Superman's chest, and he goes, Martha! And Batman ends up relenting when Lois Lane is like, that's his mother's name. So essentially, you have these two gods, as Lex Luthor was explaining it, becoming friends because their mothers have the same name.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Kyle. Kyle XY is a piece of shit. I will say it on this forum.
ABC Family is coming out.
I don't fucking care who shares my name. I don't get it. Like, you know, Chris Terrio was sitting there writing, because I feel like he did most of it. Maybe Snyder did quite a bit, but who knows. And he just sat there one day and he just went, oh, fuck, and called Zack Snyder. And I've said this since the day it came out. And was like, Zack, holy shit, are you sitting down? And he went, yeah, what's up, Chris? And then Chris Terrio went, both their mom's name are Martha. And they both lost their shit. They came over, they high-fived, hung out for a bit, had a soda, and then, like, went back to the script. And we're like, that's our plot point. It sounds like something a 12-year-old would figure out.
Yeah.
Right.
And write into a script. It was just the laziest way to get to that point. They couldn't find anything else to get to that point in the movie other than their moms are named Martha. Like, you know, they both have mommy issues, kind of. Like, I don't know. It bothers the shit out of me. And then, like, 10 minutes later, Batman, saves Ma Kent and is just like, I'm a friend of your son's. It's like, 10 minutes ago, you were going to stab him in the chest with a spear. You were going to murder him. That was my biggest issue. I literally laughed in the theater when they put it together. I laughed out loud. I had a really fun experience watching this in theaters because that happened. I also fell asleep. I was really tired. I had to work at like 6:30 that morning. It was a really late showing, and so by the time it got to where Superman walked into the court hearing or whatever, I saw him walk into the courtroom, and I woke up on the explosion. So watching the Ultimate Cut, I got to see that scene for the first time.
Oh, wasn't it?
It was a tour de
missed quite a
force,
bit.
yeah.
It was captivating.
Yeah, it was. Was it like Granny's peach tea or
Oh,
whatever?
yeah.
Like,
I laughed at that part. That was.
I don't know, man. Like the whole movie has issues. Like there's Eisenberg, and there's other things too that you can bring up. Batman murders people. Like
yeah.
there's. I don't know.
Can I piggyback off a point you mentioned earlier?
Sure.
When Batman rescues Ma Kent and says, "I'm a friend of your son's," like I think that's what I'm gonna kind of angle as like what bothers me the most about this film is the script, because I feel like this is just coming. I feel like we're all passionate about this movie because we wanted it to be good. It's not because we honestly like just wanted to loathe this film. It's because we wanted it to be really good, and just like everyone else, I think. And I'm sure so did the filmmakers. But I think this just comes from not understanding the characters. And when a grown man who's so grizzled and angry that he dresses up like a bat and in this film is shooting people around the city and then tells a stranger's mom, "I'm a friend of your son's." A grown man said that, dressed up as a bat. Like, I was just like, what is this? This isn't grim. This isn't dark. This isn't realistic, which is what a lot of people are combating, saying this is what this film offers that's different than Marvel. I say I don't see that. I see a film that doesn't understand its characters. It wants everything to be grim and dark and real, but its characters don't know that they're in that movie. I think there's a huge writing issue, and it comes with the dialogue as and other scenes from all across the characters. Everyone is talking like they're in some Shakespeare play, and it's very baffling. It honestly breaks up the pace because I'm trying to understand what they were just talking about, because you have Eisenberg, who is completely off the rails, and it doesn't play well with the film at all. It's very off-putting, and he's putting Skittles in people's mouths. He's telling
Jolly Ranchers.
God versus man, demons or whatever come from the sky. All of this, it's pointing towards some sort of a layer, some sort of metaphor, but it just doesn't work in this context. In a superhero movie, it's so forced, I think, is what I'm trying to say. And at the end, where the paintings flipped over, I get that Snyder thought that was a great finishing metaphor for what he's established earlier. But the idea of Jesse Eisenberg or Lex Luthor standing up on like a stool, flipping that painting over for a good 15 minutes to make a point is ridiculous. And I think that's what this whole film comes down to, is just completely ridiculous. It was not thought through. They just like the shirt, they liked the visuals, but then when it's all put together, it's a mess.
Yeah, with kind of a lot of the dialogue, there was quite a few times where they just took lines right out of the comic book of The Dark Knight Returns and just threw it in there. But it didn't really make sense in the context of the movie. Like, there was lots of little nods to it. And it's cool if you really like the comic book, but just in the movie it didn't make any sense. I guess even with like a bad script or a bad plot, I guess I could have enjoyed it if, just like dumb fun, just watching Batman and Superman fight each other. But I never really felt like I was watching Batman and Superman fight each other, because they didn't feel like Batman and Superman. Superman's supposed to be this symbol of hope, but he's like mopey throughout the entire movie, and I just wasn't rooting for him at all. And Batman's just like a straight up murderer. Like, they didn't even justify him killing anybody. If he's able to just kill just a bunch of low life thugs, why hasn't he killed the Joker? Like, who's out there just like doing all these horrible things? It doesn't really make sense to me. I wasn't rooting for either one. I didn't care what was going on. It was just very mischaracterized comic book characters, and it just, I don't know, just really turned me off. I think that's why I didn't like it.
Yeah. I agree. I think, like, too, even just within the context of the movie, like, why not just kill Lex Luthor? Like, he had so much opportunity. Like, he punched the wall instead of just punching him in the face and killing him. Like, it would have been a great end if he just, like, hit him in the nose and, like, made his thing fly and kill him. But, yeah. Mostly what bothered me about this movie, like, aside from what's already been said, I was really bothered by the look of the film. Just in general, like, the production of it aesthetically bothered me. I think a lot of it has to do with, like, they're trying to ground this all in realism, like you said, but like you also mentioned, it doesn't feel like reality at all. It's, like, obviously not gritty. There's all these weird archaic lines and stuff to the film, but then also, like, the look of the film makes it seem so much more like a video game. Like, the whole look of it makes it feel to me like Call of Duty, because they've just got this grainy, sepia-toned, kind of, like, brown atmosphere that they have to the film that, like, is just consistent throughout without a whole lot of color added in. So you just get this kind of flat brown picture to it, which is, you know, not unlike a human shit. Like, it just, like, bothers me so much. and they have that in there, and it takes away from the, like, supposed realism they're trying to go for, or the supposed, like, grounded nature of the film. It makes it so much more like a 13-year-old would be playing this in his bedroom, like, you know, getting a bunch of headshots or something. Like, I don't know, it's just silly, the way that it looks. And then also they have little added in sound effect elements that bother me a lot. Like, in the chase scene, you know, Batman's chasing some thugs to try to get at some, I forgot what he was trying to get. I don't
the
remember
kryptonite
anything.
from...
Was it the kryptonite?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he's trying to get the kryptonite, and, like, there's a number of times where he shoots a car and it flips, and you hear a guy go, "Ah!" And it does the Wilhelm scream. Like, it's just terrible. Like, it just, like, alright, so we're watching, like, Raiders of the Lost Ark now
No,
instead
it's
of...
gritty and realistic.
Yeah, it's so gritty and realistic. You would definitely hear, like, an explosion and then a guy going, "Oh my god! Oh!" Yeah, it's just so stupid like that, and mixed with the just physical look of the film bothers me so much. Not to mention, going back to Eisenberg, him just, like, totally taking it out of realism. Like, if you wanted to ground it in anything, he destroys that. Like, he's just like, you know what? I'm a comic book villain. I'm gonna act like I'm a comic book. Like, I'm gonna do this ridiculous shit.
Yeah.
How do you
Just
think
the
Zack
whole
Snyder
time.
directed him? Do you think he did direct him, or do you
I
think
don't
he was
think
just like, "What do you want me to do, Zack?"
Yeah.
I think he asked, like, at some point, he was like, "What do you want me to do?" And he's like, "It's, you know, it's up to you." And then dude was just like, "Well, this is what I'm doing," and he never went back. He never said, "Never mind." He just let him go.
I just don't see Zack Snyder as a director. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
I
does
just
he do
don't-
on set? Like,
I don't.
I think he has a comic book next to his, like, monitor, and he's like,
He tries
"It's
to match
good.
it up.
It's good." And then, like, meanwhile, his actors are like, "What do you want us to do?" And he's like, "Action."
You know your lines, right? Speak them.
and then Affleck's like, "I wouldn't do it like that." Like you
Yeah,
said.
yeah. We had, like, a joke while watching, like, if Ben Affleck directed this film, like, it would have been so much
Oh
better.
my
And, like,
god.
you know, Ben's behind the scenes, like, "I don't think I would do like that, Zach." And Zach would be like, "What'd you say, Ben?" He's like, "I don't think I would do it like that." You know, like, Ben would have made this film, like, you know, and it's because he cares about character motivations, where
Yeah.
Snyder is and he is a director focused solely on the look, and
Which didn't look that great.
Which bothered me so
which
much.
Zach would say you failed.
It's like Sucker Punch again. Like, it had the same look to it,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
Same
Like,
DP, I believe.
Some-
like they,
diarrhea
you know, and 300 even had the same kind of look where, like, it's just so one tone to the whole movie.
Yeah. So I think I know how everyone's going to grade this film, but just to put it into some letter form, Kyle, what would you grade this film?
I don't think there's a letter to really describe what I want to give this film, but I don't need to talk about it anymore. I'll just say an F.
Yeah, I wish we just had like. I wish you guys could smell like what we want to grade this film. Like if you could just like smell like what this film is to us, that'd be great. I like I said, like when I look back at the film, there are pieces of it that I think that stand out to me, and I think that's why I was looking forward to the Ultimate Cut, because I was like, well, maybe I misunderstood. But rewatching it, I just realized how cluttered and what a mess it is. And like I said, there's pieces that stand out to me visually, or whatever. I'm gonna have to give it an F. Like this film is not a film. It's just stitched, panels of what Zack Snyder thinks is a good Batman vs Superman film.
I'm gonna give it a D, because there was a few scenes that I did kind of like. That Batman warehouse scene, like just seeing him in action was great.
Yeah.
Up until he stabbed that guy, like just like gave him AIDS right there. But
yeah, he doesn't wash the knife. But...
no, not at all. Yeah, it was just a jumbled mess of two people dressed up like Batman versus Superman, who didn't feel like those characters to me. Just
That's rough.
a D. Yeah.
I'm gonna just go ahead and give it an A+. We're just gonna average it all
Left
out.
field out there.
Like, it's gonna land somewhere to see you guys. Like, I don't know, like overall, no, it's a bad movie. I don't like it. None of us really do. If I'm gonna really grade it for real, I'd give it an F. But like, just for the like ironic like kind of displeasure, sometimes you just want to watch a bad movie, and this on a scale of bad movies is like an A.
Yeah.
If we switch the scale to bad movies, because this is a bad movie,
Yeah.
it's an A plus.
Yeah.
Bad movie.
It's a bad movie that I don't think I would want to revisit.
No,
though.
because it's so long. All right, you're
Yeah.
right. You're right. It's an F in all categories.
Oh, wow.
It's way too goddamn long for a joke.
Yeah.
Although making fun of it was fun.
It was.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
good, yeah.
He gives us so much material to work with.
Yeah.
Right.
There's
Thank
a
you,
lot.
Zack Snyder.
There's a lot of pauses for you to crack a joke in there.
Right,
so-
just sneak it in right before the actor's line.
Right.
Well, as a film therapy session, I feel good. I feel like I got it all out there.
Yeah,
Feel
I'm
dirty.
glad to know I'm not
Feel dirty,
insane. That it's
You're
not
going
something
to-
wrong with me. It's
You're
something,
going to Arkham.
Yeah. Ding 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 ding.
Fight night, fight night.
Fight night. Just not drool.
has been rung.
I just feel bad for everyone that worked on the movie because they had to like sit on set and be like, "This is great," and they knew what a piece of shit they were.
I don't know if they could even tell. Like I feel like they
Maybe.
were just like, all right, it's what he wants, and this
Yeah.
is what we're getting, and like who knows what it'll look like when we're done.
I feel like Affleck knew.
What's that?
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
I feel like Affleck knew.
Oh yeah,
Right.
that interview where it was like it was edited or whatever. Where like hello darkness, my old
No,
friend.
yeah.
It was perfect. But it's true because he put so much into that role.
Yeah.
He got huge. Like he was a.
Yeah, he's
He's just
you know
Yeah,
right.
You got the yuck.
Melt me but like butter. But yeah, it's a shame because he put so much into the role, and he really, he was the diamond in the rough.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
true. And Gal
Yeah.
Gadot. I don't want to. We didn't touch on her at
We
all.
didn't.
But
Yeah, she didn't do anything. She didn't really have anything to work with.
Yeah, there really isn't a whole lot going on with her.
Yeah, like who knows how she'll do in the future? Because like just from this movie, it's like all right, she's fine. I guess. I don't know. 5 minutes.
It was a perfect introduction for her character though, because like out of such a bland film, you have her at the end, and
Right.
so I think that's why she stood out so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, she pops because she's a lady fighting.
yeah.
All right. Well, I hope this helps you guys somehow. If you decide to watch the Ultimate Cut, or if you've already watched it, and are looking for some closure, because we are still looking for it,
It's not out there.
and it's not out
Yeah.
there.
I want to believe it's out there.
I want to. You want a good what a crazy concept, and it just missed the mark completely. But that's why we're here. We're here to talk about it again.
Yeah.
Every time we feel something missed the mark, we're gonna meet up. We're gonna talk about it. So thank you for joining us for this edition of Film Therapy. There was not a audio portion because honestly, we didn't have that much to talk about with this movie, unless we just wanted to like make fun of it, and that's not the it's not the point of this.
You can look on the comments on any Batman vs Superman
Right.
video and
Yeah.
find everything.
Have a
we're
good
gonna say.
laugh. Yeah. So, anyway, from our hearts here, I'll let you sign out, Kyle, with your name. Well, I already said it, but you do your own.
You want to say my name?
Yeah.
My name is Kyle Willard. Willard.
That's great.
Zach, do you want to finish the joke? No.
No, oh, that's good. And
Moving on.
My social security number. No.
it's a great joke. And I am Bryn High.
Nate Schweitzer.
Zach Waldridge.
WALD.
R.I.D.
Thanks, guys. Tell us what you thought, and if there need to make any changes to our format or to our appearance, we're willing to do that for you as well.
I'll shave my head. No.
Do need to get rid of all this.
Yeah.
It's a mess.